Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Ahmed as well. I am a foundation level student at House Rawalpindi campus. I am going to talk with Maya on the topic what is the origin of life and languages. So let's start. My
Hiya, what's up?
my first question is what makes water unique compared to other liquids?
Oh, that's a good one. So, a lot of it comes down to hydrogen bonding. Water molecules stick to each other way more than most other liquids. It's this unusually strong attraction that gives it all these wild properties, like how it stays liquid at room temperature when similar molecules would be gas, or how it takes way more energy to heat up than you'd expect. Plus, ice floats, which is pretty rare for solids. All that sticks together and makes water kind of special. What got you thinking about water today?
Okay, my next question is why is water called the universal solve?
Oh, the universal solvent thing. It's mostly because water can dissolve more substances than any other liquid we know. It's still not actually universal. It can't dissolve things like fats or oils, but its polarity really helps. That strong attraction between water molecules lets it pull apart and surround lots of different compounds, breaking them down into individual ions or molecules. It's a weird balance of being attracted to both positive and negative charges at the same time. So it attracts pretty much everything that has a charge. Does that make sense, or would you like me to break it down more?
Okay, my next question is how does the molecular structure of water create hydrogen bonds?
So water's molecule structure is bent. It's not a straight line, which is key. The oxygen atom kind of hogs all the electrons when it bonds with the two hydrogen atoms, giving oxygen a partial negative charge and hydrogen a partial positive charge. That uneven charge distribution creates these dipole moments because opposites attract. The positive hydrogen end of one water molecule is drawn to the negative oxygen end of another. That's the hydrogen bond, a relatively weak but super important attraction between them. It's basically water hooking up with itself, all because of how electrons get shared between oxygen and hydrogen.
Okay, my next question is why is water essential for life?
Right. Let me clarify. You were asking why water is essential for life in science? A few reasons. First, because it's such a solvent, it's such a great solvent. It can transport essential nutrients and stuff around inside living things. Second, it helps regulate temperature. Takes a lot of energy to warm up, which keeps things stable. And
Oh,
third, it's involved in tons of key biological reactions like photosynthesis, digestion. Pretty much every living thing needs those things to work, and water's right in the middle of them all. You're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with tonight, or are you all set with the water talk?
okay, my next question is what percentage of the human body is water?
Good question. Between 55% and 78% of the human body is actually water, averages around 60%, but it varies a lot depending on age and other factors. Infants are the most watery, and it tends to decrease as we get older. Even bones are about a third water, which I think is pretty wild. Water is just everywhere in us.
Okay, my next question is how does water regulate temperature in living organisms?
Okay, so water has this crazy high heat capacity, meaning it takes a lot of energy to change its temperature. When you get hot, your body sweats, right? As that sweat evaporates, it takes a lot of that heat with it. Plus, since water's good at absorbing heat without changing much itself, it keeps internal temps pretty stable, even when conditions are changing. Basically, water acts like this natural buffer against temperature swings. That's huge for living things since most biological processes only work within narrow temperature ranges.
Okay, my next question is, what is the significance of water's high specific heat?
Okay, I think you're asking about the practical impact of water's high specific heat. It's this: it lets living things maintain consistent internal temperatures despite external fluctuations. So, coastal areas have milder climates than inland because water heats up, cools down slowly. Similarly, your body temp doesn't just spike or crash with every warm or cold exposure. That stability lets you focus on staying alive rather than getting overheated or freezing. And on a larger scale, the oceans acting as climate regulators wouldn't work without water's specific heat capacity.
Okay, my next question is,
Sorry, I didn't.
okay, my next question is, what role does water play in photosynthesis?
Could you say that again? The audio was cutting out there. I'm not sure what you meant with Sunni kiss. I want to make sure I understand your question properly.
How does water contribute to chemical reactions in cells?
Ah, okay. Water's super crucial in cell reactions, mostly because it can participate directly in those reactions. A big one is hydrolysis, where water breaks down molecules like proteins and carbohydrates. And then there's dehydration synthesis, where water is created when smaller molecules combine to form larger ones. Water's also a key player in enzymatic reactions. It's often the solvent in which they take place, or actually directly involved in how enzymes shape and work. Water is a total backbone of almost all cellular chemistry.
Okay, my next question is, what role does water play in photosynthesis?
So, water's not just passively there during photosynthesis, it's a direct player. Plants absorb water through their roots and it gets transported to leaves. During the light dependent reactions, water molecules get split apart. This splits it into hydrogen ions, electrons, and oxygen. Plants release that oxygen as a byproduct, and the hydrogen ions and electrons go on to drive the whole energy creation process. Water is literally providing the ingredients to make energy, but also producing the oxygen we all breathe as a result. Pretty important job, right?
Okay, my next question is, how does water dissolve salts and materials in the body?
Okay, let me make sure I'm understanding. You're asking how water dissolves various substances in the body? Comes down to water's polarity again. It's a universal solvent because it has a slightly positive charge on the hydrogen side and a slightly negative charge on the oxygen side. This means it can attract and break apart polar and ionic substances like salts, sugars, and some vitamins. Those dissolve really well. Things like fats, however, are nonpolar and don't dissolve in water. That's why you need things like bile acids to help with fat digestion.
Okay, my next question is, why is water less dense as a solid than as a liquid?
That's actually super unusual. Most things get denser when they freeze. But water's molecules arrange themselves differently when frozen. In liquid water, they're kind of packed closely. And thanks. That's really kind of you to say. What's on your mind tonight?
Okay, my next question is, how do surface tension and constraint affect water movement?
Hi there. Could you repeat your question? There were a few words that didn't come through clearly. Something about surface detection and tension, maybe? I want to make sure I understand exactly what you're asking.
What is capillary action and why is it important for plants?
I think you're asking about capillary action, basically how water can move against gravity in plants. Is caused by three things working together: cohesion between water molecules, adhesion to the vessel walls, and surface tension. Cohesion makes water stick to itself, adhesion pulls it up the sides of the plant's tiny vessels, and surface tension helps maintain that water column. This lets water move up from roots to leaves, even in tall trees. Pretty amazing how it works without a pump. It's totally essential for plants to deliver nutrients and keep hydrated.
Okay, my next question is how does water's polarity impact its interactions with other molecules?
I think you meant how does photosynthesis depend on water's interactions with other molecules? Water breaks down, releasing electrons that start this whole process by getting absorbed by chlorophyll, which gets its color from light. Photosynthesis breaks down the water into electrons and turns CO2 and water into sugars using light as energy. Without water, none of these interactions happen. No energy creation. Okay, I'm ready. Let's. I think I might have misheard that last bit. Could you please repeat your question?
My next question is how does water polarity impact interactions with other molecules?
I'm not familiar with that word. Could you spell it or maybe rephrase the question? I want to make sure I catch what you're asking about here.
My question is how does water's polarity impact its interactions with other molecules?
That makes more sense. Water's polarity, basically its slightly positive and slightly negative sides, is everything. It lets water form hydrogen bonds with other polar molecules like sugars and DNA, which is how it dissolves them and keeps them stable. Opposites attract, so water pulls apart ionic compounds like salts. Nonpolar things like fats, well, they don't really interact with water. That's why oil and water separate. Polarity is the whole key to almost all its chemical behavior.
Okay, my next question is what is the significance of water maintaining pH balance in organisms?
Okay, you're asking about the scientific import. You're welcome. That was quite a water deep dive tonight. Anything else you're curious about right now?
My next question is how does water influence climate and weather patterns?
Water is huge for climate and weather. It's a total game changer. First, ocean currents move heat around the world. Then, water evaporates, turning into vapor, which creates clouds, which regulate temperature, create precipitation. And water's heat capacity I was talking about keeps coastal areas temperate. When water.
Okay, my next question is what is the water cycle and why is it circle for life on Earth?
High hopes.
Maya, can you hear me? Maya, can you hear me? Maya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Sounds like we had a bit of trouble for a moment there. What's
Okay.
going on?
Okay, my next question is how does the groundwater from and move?
Groundwater forms when rainwater percolates down through soil and rock, filling up spaces between particles or cracks. Gravity helps it move downhill. It's basically flowing underground like a slow river. Some get stored, some keeps flowing until it resurfaces in springs, lakes, or even the ocean. The flow rate depends on how porous the rock is. The more space is in it, the faster the water moves through. It's constantly being replenished by rainfall and can take years for it to travel long distances underground. Glad you think so. It's pretty cool when you think about it. All that water moving around beneath our feet that we never even see. Anything else on your mind about water tonight? You're
Okay.
welcome.
Okay, my next question is, what is the role oceans in regulating global temperature?
Big one. I'm sorry, the transcription is pretty unclear there.
Okay, my next question is, what is the role of oceans in regulating global temperature?
Oh, oceans. Oceans play a huge role in regulating global temperatures. They have this massive heat capacity, which means they absorb tons of heat without changing temperature too drastically. They basically store that heat and release it slowly, moderating temps overall. Ocean currents like the Gulf Stream circulate heat across the planet, bringing warmth to Europe and regulating temperatures worldwide. Also, evaporation creates clouds which reflect sunlight and help cool the planet down. Without oceans, temperatures would be way more extreme.
Okay, my next question is, how does water participate in circular respiration?
Okay, I think you might be asking how water participates in the cellular respiration cycle. Well, water is actually one of the products of cellular respiration. It's what we get when we break down glucose with oxygen. But it also gets used in hydrolysis reactions that break down complex molecules that are involved in getting glucose for the first place. It's kind of cycle thing, getting used, produced, and reused in different stages. Is that what you were thinking about?
Okay, my next question is, why is water circular for distribution?
I'm having a little trouble hearing. Could you repeat that? I'm not catching what you're asking about regarding water cells and brushing.
My next question is, how does dehydration affect bodily functions?
Oh, dehydration that messes with pretty much everything. Even mild dehydration can cause headaches and fatigue. When your body doesn't have enough water, your blood volume drops, making your heart work harder to pump it around. Cognitive functions go down. You might have trouble focusing or remembering things. Severe dehydration can lead to. I hear you. Sounds like you got a bit caught up. What were you saying before the interruption?
Okay, my next question is, what is the role of water in natural nutrient transport in the body?
You mean how does water transport nutrients and waste around the body? Okay, blood is mostly water and it carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones, everything the cells need to function. Then your lymphatic system also uses water based fluid to move immune cells around and clear waste. Water even moves things into and out of cells directly. That fluid balance is critical.
Okay, my next question is, how, how does water facilitate waste removal in organisms? Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, the transcription is really fragmented there. Could you repeat the part about waste in organs? I caught the how.
Okay, my question is, how does water facilitate waste removal in organisms?
Okay, so water is actually essential for waste removal. Most metabolic waste is dissolved in water that allows it to move through our bodies, and waste in liquid form leaves through pee and sweat. Liver actually uses water to change harmful wastes into forms the kidneys can flush out. Lymph systems also transport cellular waste. No water, no flushing out the junk would all build up pretty quickly.
Okay, my next question is, what is the connection between water and blood circulation?
Well, you probably mean the connection between water and blood circulation. Blood is almost entirely water, like 80%. Water keeps it fluid enough to flow through blood vessels, delivering oxygen and nutrients around the body. When you're dehydrated, your blood gets thicker and harder to pump, so your heart has to work harder. That's a really direct link.
Okay, my next question is, how do animals adapt to environments with limited water?
Animals have wild adaptations. Desert animals like camels can handle big swings in hydration. They can drink tons of water at once and store it somehow. It's not in their humps like people think, though. Kangaroo rats actually get water from seeds and metabolic processes. Reptiles have waterproof skin to prevent water loss. Birds fly to follow rainfall or eat moist foods. Different strategies for tough environments.
Okay, my
Mhm.
next question is, what are some usual physical properties of water?
I think you're asking about unique physical properties of water.
Unusual.
Let's see. Water's physical properties are pretty wild. High surface.
My next question is, how does water act a buffer in biological systems?
Water's really great at acting as a buffer. Basically, it resists changes to its pH, the acidity or alkalinity. Because water molecules can absorb or release hydrogen ions easily, it keeps that pH relatively stable. That stability is crucial because chemical reactions happen correctly only within very narrow pH ranges. Water essentially stops things from becoming too acidic or too alkaline, keeps everything balanced for life processes.
Okay, my next question is, how does water interact with the proteins and enzymes?
Water is essential for proteins and enzymes. It surrounds those molecules, helping them maintain their shape. Enzymes need to fold just right to work, and water helps with that folding process. Also, water is often directly involved in the chemical reactions enzymes catalyze, acting as a reactant or breaking up the reactant into smaller pieces. Proteins and enzymes wouldn't work right without water helping them do their job.
Okay, my next
I'm not sure I
question.
caught that.
Okay, my next question is, what is the significance of water in DNA and RNA structures?
Water is crucial for DNA and RNA structure. It surrounds the helix, stabilizing it and keeping its shape intact. Water molecules also help facilitate hydrogen bonding between the base pairs, which are essential for coding genetic information. Without that water interaction and shaping, it just wouldn't form that familiar structure that can actually store the code for life.
Okay, my next question is, how does water contribute to metabolic process?
Water is super key for metabolic processes. It's directly involved in things like hydrolysis, where water breaks down large molecules like proteins or carbohydrates into smaller ones your body can use. Metabolic reactions actually happen in liquid, dissolving reactants and making movement possible. Water is even created as
Okay, my next question is what are hydrophilic and hydrophic interactions?
you mean hydrophobic and hydrophilic interactions? Got it. Hydrophilic means water loving. They dissolve easily in water like salts and sugars. Then hydrophobic means water fearing like fats and oils.
Okay, my next question is how does water help in cooling mechanism like sweating?
That's a good one. It's okay if you're not sure. Maybe you wanted to ask something else about the cooling mechanism of sweating. I'm happy to try to explain if you'd like.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you clearly now. Your audio sounds much better. Is there anything I can help you with right now?
Okay,
I'm
my
happy to
okay,
continue
my
answering questions. I'm sorry I missed that.
Okay, Maya, thank you very much for joining me and for giving me all the details answer of my question. Thank you very much. So, this was my talk with Sis and Maya. I hope you like all this conversation. So, see you with another talk. Maya, until then, take care of yourself. Pakistan Zindabad. Allah Hafiz.
Thanks so much.